Hello, how are you? I'm going to try to write a program or start a program that you'll fill in pieces of for the next homework. And the problem that I want to solve, is I want to add two large positive integers. I can't do that uh, in straight C++ because the limit on the integers is something like 2 to the 31st minus 1, and that gives me about 12 digits. But I want to be able to go to any number of digits I feel like. Well, the best way to do that is to use some kind of form of linked list. But what I'm going to use, uh, I first got to show it, and then I think I'll mention what it is. So let's represent 479 3 6. Well, if I were reading, and don't ask yet why I have three pieces here. I'll get to that in a minute. But I would read in the 4 first, and I wouldn't do anything. I probably would play around with this pointer. I'd probably have it point to itself. Then I'd read in the 7. Now, to make this integer, I'm going to take the 4 and I'm going to point it to the 7. And you'll notice I took it out of something called the forward pointer. Why that? We'll find out. And then when I put in my next number, 9, wrong place, 9, I'm going to point, no, it's not it, pardon me. I'm going to point the forward pointer down to here. And then I've got 3. I'm going to put 3 here. And again, I'm going to have to be pointing the pointer so that it goes up to there. And finally, I'm going to put in 6, and it'll be here. And I'm going to have it so that forward points to there. And then I'm going to do something rather strange. Even though that's the end of the number, I'm going to have forward point to the beginning of the number. So it's going to go around in a circle. And that's key to what we're going to call this. This is a circular linked list. And I can do the same thing with another number down here. This one's a little smaller. I'll represent let me make this bigger. I have to get to 14 so they will all fit. I'll represent 6382. But again, I'll put in the numbers the way we did before. This will be 6. This will be 3. I'll make this 8. And I'll make this 2. And I think this time I'm going to get rid of this one here. See if I can really get rid of it. It doesn't want to go. Let me try it. Well, I know what I'll do. I'll just push it away. I can just get my hands on it. I'll just forget it's there, because I don't want to go any further. And now we'll put in the pointers again. So they'll go here. I'll make that bigger. They'll go here. And I'll make that bigger. And then here. Excuse me, I did the wrong thing there. So I want to get rid of that. And now I want to insert the pointer again, which will go here. And then there'll be one more pointer, and that pointer will go in a circle. It'll go back to here. All right, once more, I'll try to get that pointer in. And here it is. Now those are our two numbers. Let's suppose we wanted to add them. Well, there's a problem. If we start at the beginning, it doesn't work. Normally, when we add these two together, we want to start at the end. We want to start at the 6 and add the 6 to the 2. And then there might be a carry, and then we'd go to the next digit to the left. Because remember, when we go forward, what we're basically doing is starting at the right, 4, 7, 9, 3, 6. Well, I also don't have any way to tell you where that begins. It's a circle. Where in the world does it start? Well, let's see. We can fix that. What if I put in another little box over here? Insert, see what I want. Well, I'll just put a box in. I'm going to put a box right up here. And I'm going to label it last. And I'm going to have it point to the end of our number. So it'll point to here. Now with that, we know where the ending is. But we still haven't solved the problem of how in the world can we go backwards in this list. That's why the second pointers are there. This is going to be a circular list, as you can see, but it's going to be a doubly linked circular list, which means that the backward pointers are going to go the other way around the circle. So I'm going to have a pointer here, and the backward will go to here. And I will put that in a different color for you. And then the backward from there will point to here. And again, it'll be in a different color. And then the backward from here will point to here. And the backward from here will point to here. And finally, I have one more pointer. This goes back. Pardon me. All right. Shape. Put it down into there. All right, we'll try that again. One more. Illustrations, shapes, and this goes right back to here to complete the circle. Now it looks much more complicated than it is. The structure is just the 3-element node, and you already know the forward pointers. The backward pointers just say, I want to go in the other direction. That's all they're there for, to go to the other direction. So now we're able to go either way. But you'll notice I don't have anything that tells me where it begins. I have something that tells me where it ends. However, if you look at this, the forward pointer of the last node points to the first node in the circle. So we don't need a separate one. If we have last, we can just go to the other pointer and it'll work fine for us. So that saves us one place anyway. Now this looks complicated, but as I said, each side is something you've already done. You've already done the black ones. That one's not as black as the others, so I better... no, I can't make it color. Maybe I can do it this way. No, we'll leave it there. So we can go either way. Now I have another one here, but I think I'd like you to, well, I filled in part of it, so maybe I can fill in the other one. Again, I need to have a pointer to last. So I'll put in another box right here. Remember, this thing does not exist. And I'll have a pointer from there. Which points down to here. You are seeing that these are actually coming from Excel. That's why they didn't fit. So I have that pointer, and then as I had in the last one, I will take another pointer, and the backward will point to here. And then I'll have another pointer, and the backward points to here. And then I think I need two more. This backward points to... This backward points to here. And one last one. This one points. Insert, illustration. This one points to... I keep hitting something I shouldn't hit. I'll get there. Shapes, that, down to here, and that's it. Now I have two numbers. So how am I going to add them? Well, let's look at that possibility. The last pointers will point to what we would call the ones count. So to add, we use the last pointer, the last pointers, to get the ones digits, which in this case are 2 and 6. So 6 and 2. We add these, and now we want to create a sum structure. And what that means is that we're now going to create another one of those, and we're going to put the 6 and the 2 in it. The sum of the 6 and the 2. And if there's a carry, we'd carry it. So we would be creating the sum, which would look like this. We'd have a node. It would have the usual division. And that didn't come out too well, but let's try it once more. This division. And one more. This division. And what we'd be doing is 6 plus 2 is 8. And if you think about it, that's the last element. So we'd have last point to it. So our new last over here sorry about that. Well, it's blue. We have last point to this element. And now you may ask, what will we do with these pointers? Well, the first thing we do is have them point back to themselves. So each pointer would be circular. It would point right back to itself. So you would insert, and I need basically a curve. And I just go and have it come right back. Now that ain't working. I'll get rid of that. And let me try, see if I can figure out some way to do that. I want to insert a shape. I want it to be an arc. I want it to begin here, and then I want to turn around and have it in there. So it points back to itself. And then I will do exactly the same thing with it right over here. Just take that over and have it do the same thing there. So that's a one-element number. Now, we've done that. The carry was 0. So now we go back here and we look at the next two numbers. We use the backward pointers. So the backward pointer says take 8, and up here the backward pointer says take 3. So use the backward pointers of the two numbers we are adding, and that will get us what we want. To get, and I have to look up and see what those numbers are again. In this case, it's 3, and in this case, it's 8. To get 3 plus 8. The sum is 11, which means the tens digit of the sum is 1, and the carry is 1. We had no carry before, we added in a 0. So now we take what we have up here and we see what we can do. Well, last is going to stay last, and no doubt about that. But now we're going to put another node in somewhere, somehow. So I'll just create another node. This will probably go right through everything else, but that's reasonable. So I'm going to create another node here. And I'll put in the partitions so we can see what we're going to do. Another one. And now this node's going to have a 1 in it, because that's definitely what we thought was going to be the number. That's the digit. So this is going to be a 1. And now, this is before that one. So the forward motion takes us this way. And just to make sure you realize that, I'm going to label that this is the forward pointer. Remember, I did that up above. That was it. And if you look above, let me make sure I have that right. When I had 47, 4 pointed to 7, so far my answer is 18. Now that begs the question, what am I going to do with the forward pointer here? Well, there's no place to put it, but there's only one other place to put it. And so what I do now is I'd make it point back to there, because we need a circle, remember? So that works. Now the backward pointer, 8 is the in. If it's going to go back, it's going to go back to 1. So 8 goes to 1. And of course we have to, no choice, but we have to take this one pointing up to here. Now again, let's make sure you see that. That number is representing 18. So, according to what we had above, the number begins at whatever the backward pointer of the last element tells us. And the backward pointer now tells us to go to 1. So just to make sure, this is the back. And I guess I should put this as the forward, and this is the back. So if we want to find out where it begins, we go to the back of the last element, and that's the beginning of our number. That's 1. Then if we want the next number, next digit, we go by the forward loops, and we get 1/8. Notice we're using the forward loops here and the backward loops when we're taking off the digits. So what you should do now is write, well, I'll do one more. So now let's look. We use the backward digit. We use the back pointers of the two numbers to get. Well, our last two numbers were in the tens column, so we're looking in the hundredths column. This was the ones, that's the tens, so 9 is what I'm getting from there. And in the other one, ones, tens, nines, I'm getting 3. So I have 9 plus 3. And I think I'd like to move this down. I hope I can. That was an easier way to do that. I'll move this down. I'm going to move this back up to here. And I'm going to move these two back to here. Pardon me. And I guess I have to get these up there too, because those were the boundaries. Oops, excuse me. Now I want to create what I get with 9 plus 3. Well, 9 plus 3 is 12, but I have a carry of 1. So the value is 13. It's not just 12, it's 13. Now I'm ready to build this one. This will be the last one I build. I'm going to have another node here. I'm going to put it here. A little big, but that's okay. I'm going to segment it as I did before. And I put the digit 3 in because that's the digit I write in that column, I carry the 1. So I write the 3 here. And then I have to get it hooked in. Well, let's see what we have here. And we look back here. Move this up just a little. The number so far is 18. But the 3 should go before the 18. I should have 3, 1, 8. So that means that the forward pointer from a 1 should go to 3. Let me make sure I have, yes. The forward pointer should go to 3. So now I get rid of this. And instead, I point, and these are in the wrong order, by the way. Let me take that. This is back, and that's forward. So I changed the wrong one, I'm sorry. This no longer, the 1 goes, we have 1, 8, 3. That means the 8, the 3 goes to the 1. So I should take the 3 and point it to the 1. Now the number is 3, 1, 8. This forward pointer has to complete the circle, so it no longer goes there. It points to the last thing in that line, which means that it's going to point down to here. Now the forward pointers are in order. This one points to 3. This one points to then 1, then 8. Notice, I think I have this right, but I may be wrong. You know, I think I'm going to hold it here. I think I'll do the rest of that in another video. So let's just hold off on this part right here. And I'll do it again tomorrow, probably. At least we got started. So what is your homework? Well, you'll be happy to know that I wrote most of it. What I've done, and I'll be putting this out for you, is over here somewhere, if I can bring it up. There it is. And I can bring it over. This is going to go out there. And this is the actual structure that I'm building in the program that I used. I have the node there. I use forward and backward. I made a specialized list, which is a ways of getting around in it. And then I declared a large integer to be a specialized list, but it has the added fields of the length and the sign. Then I just went and wrote the program, and you're going to fill in this part right here, which basically is the part doing the adding that I was just working on. And that's it. That's what you're going to fill in. Now, I hope I have everything here. I did a lot of overloading, which you may or may not remember. Actually, I think this is not quite the whole program, but I will have it out there. I have it running, so I will be giving it to you so you can see it. And that's what you've got to do. I filled in everything but what's inside. Oh, here they are. There's the operator equal. There's the operator input. There's the operator output. And you are essentially writing the operator plus. This part here is part of the operator plus. And we'll see what happens. So I'll be putting these things out in a few minutes, and I will try to make another video tomorrow to maybe make it easier, because I'm sure there are many questions that you have. But we'll get there. There it is. This is the thing you're filling in. This is the operator plus, the addition. And we'll talk about that more. So that's it. That's what I'll put out right now, and expect to hear from me again tomorrow.